Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bit with the Chris and Sandy Show, where we get up close personal amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I said on every episode, we've got a great one for you. Because who do we have? We have us.
Today. It's our 2-year anniversary today.
I mean,
Chris and Sandy Show.
Can you believe that? 2 years.
We made it.
We made it 2 years with our show.
Yes.
I'm just sitting here like stunned that we're at the 2-year mark.
Oh, I know.
Over
Yes.
500 interviews.
It's been truly amazing.
It's been, I mean, when we first launched this show 2 years ago today, we just had no idea
where this was going to go, what to expect.
Thank you, Caleb. And
yes,
we love your show.
Yes.
Anybody that watches this, be sure to check out Caleb's show, The Freaking Frack Show.
Oh, yes. Go check them out. They're awesome.
But yeah, it's been an interesting 2 years.
It has. We're honored and privileged to get to do this. We can't believe some of the names we've had the past year.
I mean, last year we did a episode on the first anniversary, and we were like blown away.
Yes.
And now it's like,
and here we are a year later,
and
we're even more blown away.
And we're sitting there like, we have had so many, and everybody that comes on our show is awesome. Don't get us wrong.
Oh,
we love everybody.
We love every single guest,
and it's just been just an amazing adventure.
And we get to talk to all of them and find out their stories. What's better than that?
And, you know, and it's crazy. It's just some of the people that, and before I get into some of the people we've had on the show and over the last year, you know, we've done 550K reach on YouTube,
which is amazing
in the last year. We've done 250K reach on Facebook, and we have 180,000 visitors to our website.
So thank you so much to anyone who has ever tuned in or hit like or shared anything with our show.
And thank you, Caleb, for being one of our most guests on the show.
Yes, one of our most frequent commentators.
Yeah, we love having you on.
We do.
But again, we've had people like, we'd have never thought this. We had Perez Hilton come on.
Oh, that was a cool one.
Who gets Perez Hilton?
Yeah.
I mean, back in our day, he was like the big thing, you know, back then.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's the big celebrity blogger.
Who he is.
You know, we've gotten John Snyder.
Oh, yeah. Someone who we both grew up watching on the Dukes of Hazzard.
And, you know, it's been like, you know, I remember I worked for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months to try to get John Snyder.
Yes.
And when they finally emailed saying, hey, you know, we'd like to have him on the show, we were like, yes, let's finally.
Yes.
And it was like surreal, you know.
It was.
He opens up the thing. And see, a lot of people don't realize this, but before and after the shows, we get to talk to a lot of these guests. So it's been really cool to have some more conversations before, and especially some of the conversations we have after. Sometimes we have sometimes I'm like, we should record this.
Always interesting, for sure.
But then we've had Scotty McCreery.
Oh, yes, another one he worked.
I worked my tail off for Scotty. And I remember, if his manager ever sees this, I don't know if he'll agree, but I think I wore him out so much that they just threw him on the show for us.
That's why I think.
Because I wouldn't give up. Every month I would email trying to get him on the show. And finally, we got him on. That was awesome. And we had Tracy Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, someone who I grew up listening to. Love his song.
I mean, that
amazing
was really
artist.
Awesome. And then another interesting one that we had was Caitlyn Vogel, who was the first runner-up of this year's Miss USA.
Oh, yes. What a great guest there.
And, you know, I would have reached out for Miss USA, but I thought, you know what, she'd probably be too busy going on the bigger shows.
Oh, yes.
So I figured, let's see if we can get the runner-up. And bam, we got the runner-up. And she was so awesome.
Yes.
And we appreciate you, Jerry.
Oh, we do. Yes.
And then we've had Darcy Donovan, another really interesting.
Oh, very cool one there. She was so nice. Yeah.
And then back in our day, we had All for One.
Oh, yes. And Lisa Loeb.
And Lisa Loeb and
Mark
Brian Luttrell.
From Color Me Bad. We had some great. The Brian Luttrell one with his wife and son. That was one of our most fun interviews ever. That's one of my favorite interviews.
Yeah, because Brian Luttrell, it was him, his wife, and his son. And they it was just such an amazing thing.
It was. I mean, he even sang for us, and he sang with his son.
It was really cool.
Loved it. Oh, and John Tesh. How about John Tesh?
I mean, you can't get better than John Tesh, right? I mean, here it is. We're trying to grow in this radio/video industry as a host.
And he's definitely
and
someone
we had
look up to.
One of the biggest hosts ever, John Tesh. Anybody that knows anything knows who John Tesh is, and he was on our show.
Come on, Entertainment Tonight, and his radio program, his music, everything he's done.
And he told us, here's the cool thing. He told us in the show that he said when we was pitched to him from his team that he heard great things about us.
Yeah.
And he had to come on.
And we were like stunned. Like,
and
wow.
That was really amazing. And a little cool Brian Luttrell story.
Oh, yes. This one stunned me.
Sandy and I, we like to write lyrics.
Yes. And I was, admit, a big Backstreet Boys fan back in the day, back in the 90s. I even had a poster of Backstreet Boys on my wall back then.
And he
gets
gets on there and he says, I see that y'all write, don't y'all?
And my mouth dropped open.
That he would know that.
Whoa, he knows
He
that.
apparently looked us up a little bit.
Yeah. That was very cool. Very surreal.
We definitely appreciate that,
thank
Jerry.
you, Jerry.
Yeah, it's definitely been a crazy adventure. And if you hang in there, you're going to hear about another show we're launching soon, too.
Oh, yes.
Then we had Brooke Burke.
Oh, she was really amazing. And we had a first there.
Yep. And she done something nobody's never done. One of our ideal guests, my dream guest.
Oh, for sure.
Is Steve Harvey. I have pitched and pitched and pitched. And one day we will get Steve Harvey. You better believe it. Well, when she figured, one of my friends ended up posting on the thing that my dream guest is Steve Harvey, and Brooke saw that. So she asked, is that really your dream guest? So yeah. She pulls out her phone.
Yes.
In the middle of the interview. And she does an Instagram live or Instagram story.
Yes, Instagram story.
And she records telling Steve and tag Steve and us that this couple would love to have you on the show, that she's doing our show. And then she turned the phone around and says, okay, pitch him. So I had to, on the spot, pitch him why he should come on our show.
Yeah.
And again, that was a first. That was really cool that she did that. And
really cool,
I'll never forget that. Whether we get Steve or not, well, we'll get Steve one day.
Oh,
but because of that, it was just amazing that she did that.
Absolutely.
And then one of Little Chris's favorites that we have is Ava Coker from one of his shows, Sydney to the Max on Disney Channel.
Oh, yes. And also Mallory.
And Mallory James Mahoney from the Disney Channel's Bunk.
Oh, he was so excited.
And those two are really great. Ava's 15, Mallory's like 15 or 16. And they were really, really amazing.
Amazing girls.
Definitely have their act together, so to speak, for being so young. But again, when you're in the acting world, you kind of have to.
Oh, yes.
And then we had Misty Rowe.
Oh, Misty Rowe.
From Hee Haw.
Yes.
She spent 19 years on Hee Haw.
Amazing. Oh, she was so fun.
And then another one that our little one really loved. We actually got Calista Clark, the rising superstar in country music.
He's a huge fan of Calista Clark. He plays her songs all the time.
And it was like blown away that we were able to get her, and they said yes.
Yes,
our first
amazing, talented girl there.
And then we had the amazing, legendary Bert Ward from the original Batman and Robin.
Does it get any better than that? Bert's stories were amazing.
I mean, we went over an hour on that, and it was like
what a legend there.
It was he could talk and talk, and it was really awesome.
Great stories. Love that.
And then we had Sarah Evans.
One of our all-time favorite country artists, Sarah Evans.
And we're just sitting here. We had Parker McCollum, who's another big rising star like Calista.
Country artist there.
Claudia Wells from Back to the Future.
Oh, one of my all-time favorite movie trilogies, Back to the Future.
And then we had the biggest soap opera villain ever.
Yes, that we grew up watching. Yes.
If you know anything about soap operas, you know who Sheila Carter is. Or the character Sheila Carter.
Oh, yes.
And she was on our show. And she kind of gave it away. Look, we think we get, we kind of figured she got the phone.
Because she is now returned to the Bold and the Beautiful.
And we kind of had an idea that she was returning.
We did, yeah.
Well, you can go back and watch any of them. We're on YouTube and Facebook
Yes,
with all of those.
They are there, all available to go back and watch.
And then, but yeah, we've had some great ones. And tomorrow we've got a really special one.
Oh, we do.
We've got the founder of PureFlix. He's an actor also.
Mhm.
He's also the creator of God's Not Dead.
Oh, yes.
David A.R. White is coming on.
So excited.
That's
for
going to
one.
be an amazing one, I think, tomorrow.
Yes, it will be.
But this has been 2021 has been one
What a
heck of a
ride
year
for us. Yeah.
I mean, we started out as a country music interview show.
That's right.
That's where
2 years ago today.
and I remember I created this name, and because I told Sandy at the beginning, even though I was committed to country music only, I was committed to that. But I told Sandy that if God opened the door for the show to expand, I wanted a name that was generic. That's why I kind of came with the Chris and Sandy show.
Yeah, because when he first came to me, I was like, "Well, what would we call the show?"
And I was like, the Chris and Sandy show. What else?
And I said, "You're crazy. Nobody knows who we are. Who would come on or watch the show?"
And yet, here we are with over 500 guests in 2 years.
Guess we were just crazy enough to do it.
And you were crazy enough to follow me on that.
Well, yeah.
But again, it's one of them things where we had no idea what God was going to do. And
No
then
idea.
COVID happens. And COVID was kind
2
of
months after we started, pretty much.
and that was the game changer for us. COVID
was.
happens, and I told Sandy, you know what? I'm going after the bigger ones now. Because COVID was going to be the game changer. And because I was like, you know what?
And it
Everybody
was.
needs a
It
place
really
to talk
was.
because nobody's working. It's like they will have time for us.
Mm-hmm.
And, and we appreciate anybody that watches our shows, shares our shows.
Oh, and all the PR companies.
And
Where
all
would
of
we
the-
be
we would be
without the
nowhere
PR companies?
without the PR companies trusting their
Believing in
clients
us.
on our show.
So
I mean,
thank you to each and every one of those
'Cause that's
who have
been-
advocated for us.
That's been one of the awesome things is having some PR companies that trust us enough to put their people on our show and keep putting their people on our show. I mean, we recently had Karen Kingsbury come back for a second time,
amazing author Karen.
and you love it
Kingsbury.
when that happens.
I know.
She
We
was
do.
back.
We
She was here
love
for the
great
first
return
time for
guests.
audio only, so the second time was video. So
Yes.
we definitely love that.
Another highlight.
But now let's talk about the future.
Oh yes.
Where are we going? The show.
What's 2022 going
What's
to be like for
2022?
the Chris and Sandy show?
That we're going to go to the next level.
We
My
are.
goal is to bring on at least 20 to 30 A-list celebrities from music to that. We'll still always be. We'll still always have up and coming
We always
artists,
will
up and
because
coming
we
actors.
absolutely
I mean, like
them.
we got a really good rising artist coming on this week, Brandon Davis.
Oh, we're so
We're
excited.
excited
to have
about him, and
Mhm.
he's touring with.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be touring with Tim McGraw.
Can't beat that, right?
Yeah, and
So-
Russell Dickerson.
And so we're
Yeah.
excited to have him on in a few days.
We are.
But we'll always have uprising stars on our
We
show
will.
too. But
We
we also
believe
want
in
the
them.
big stars too.
We do
'Cause it
because
helps
we're fans
solidify
of
them.
all entertainment too. We
Yep.
love having some legendary and hopefully some.
So
major
that's kind
ones
of
this year.
go, and we'll probably do another 250 interviews this
Sure.
year with the.
That's
the
kind
stream.
of the goal. For
But our
quantity.
big thing is that we're launching a second show, a second podcast.
Yes,
It don't have anything to do with entertainment, but it does have to do with Nashville
and it starts next week on my
on
birthday,
her 45th
January
birthday.
10th.
She's really excited about being on her birthday, and you'll see why in a minute.
Yes,
We definitely appreciate that. We could use all the prayers.
thank you.
But this new idea we have, and everybody's loved the idea.
Mhm.
I'm 50, she's 45, so
We're about to be 45.
about to be 45.
next week.
And we're like, if you watch all these things, they do like 40 under 40, 30 under 30.
Oh, they do.
All
Mhm.
these younger people get spotlighted. Everything's
Yeah.
all about the younger generation. Where does that leave our generation?
Yeah, it leaves it out.
It's like you and it's like they you have the under 40 awards, all that, and then you have your legacy stuff,
Yes.
but you don't have
Nothing in between.
nothing for 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s type stuff. So that leaves an opening for what we're going to launch. We're launching a new podcast called Young at Heart Nashville.
Yes.
And what this is it's going to be spotlight professionals. We're going to bring on professionals in Nashville who are over 40, who are owning their age.
Yes.
Basically, people that are top of their game, whether it's community service or whether it's in their profession, but professionals that are top of their game and are over 40 and they're proud of it, because it's time to bring that class together in Nashville so that we can kind of talk about that talk about where they're going and stuff like that.
Everything related to that.
And and talk a lot about Nashville because we're going to be moving there later this year.
And we're going to be having a charity event and a recognition
Here's
event.
the cool part. This kind of ties into the charity event. We're doing a 40 over 40 charity event. And here's what we mean. Everybody does 40 under 40, 30 under 30. Nobody does 40 over 40. So we're going to do 40. It's going to be 40 over 40. So your 40 top professionals will be recognized, red carpet rolled out in Nashville for them at the end of the year.
Yes.
To recognize them finally, our generation and above.
So we're super excited about that.
And it's going to be tied into a charity and all of that.
More details will be coming
and all that. So we're excited about that.
Another thing we're excited about is Christopher's wanting to launch his own later this summer, early fall. Podcast. A 10-minute podcast.
It's going to be called 10 Minutes with Chris or something to that nature.
Something like that. Yeah, because he's going to be 10 years old next week. His birthday's January 11th. He'll be 10 and something.
And he'd like to get. We're going to try to get the bigger celebrities on his show.
We are.
Because what they 10-year-old, come on, they're going to probably want to say yes to this.
It's 10 minutes. I mean, come on.
And 10 minutes
he's
with
so
Chris.
Excited to do this.
And so we'll see with our connections if we can make that work for
that.
him. We already got a couple people that said they want to do it, so that's already
more details on that coming down.
And then we also have for the Young at Heart Nashville. We're going to have a magazine we'll be launching along with all this. That's going to be more for your professionals, have articles in it. That's going to be about to help the over 40 crowd grow in all areas of their life. Yes. And so, we got a lot.
Oh, and 2 books.
We're also writing 2 books. Our first book is going to be called The Unlikely Show because that's what the Chris and Sandy show is.
It is.
It really is the unlikely show. I mean, it's like, all
grassroots.
This whole thing has been just crazy.
It has.
And
the second book
is going to be our whole story book, which is going to be called The Unlikely Couple.
Yes.
Because when you look at our past, there's no reason we should be together.
Right.
We should have never married.
Completely different backgrounds.
I mean,
everything.
I was her first of everything. She was far from that with me. She did no drugs, no alcohol, none of that.
Right.
I went through 19 years of addictions. I mean, you couldn't have put 2 people more together
with more opposites backgrounds
than us and make it work. And only God can do that.
Oh yes, so true.
And so we're like, you know what? We got to write about every. In fact, we've got a friend of ours, an actress, that's told us when we get that book together, she wants to pitch it to Hallmark drama series.
Right, for their drama
She
channel.
thinks that she can get it on as a movie.
So we'll
our
see
story,
when
she heard our story.
Super excited about that.
Oh, and because of our story, this is another cool thing. We got on. We did our very first guest on a podcast.
Yes, and separately.
And
we
separately, they made us go separately.
I think it would have been better together, but
it was called "Let the Journey Begin." It was by Hillary Roberts
and Jason Waller,
and it was really awesome, really fun.
It was. They were great hosts.
And really. But when Hillary was on our show and she heard bits and pieces of our story, she said, "I got to get y'all on
as a double feature."
And we were like, "Okay." We thought we were going to come on together, but
so hopefully more of that, but together in 2022.
But we've got a lot that's coming up in 2022, and our move to Nashville. End of the year, we're hoping to pull all of this together.
And our 20th year anniversary is this
October
year.
5th of this year is our 20-year wedding anniversary too.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really a big year for us.
It is.
And we believe, and we really believe that the Chris and Sandy show is going to go to a whole new level this year.
We do.
We're
believe determined to take
that
it
our
there.
new show, Young at Heart Nashville, is going to be everybody loves it. We've never launched an idea that had so far 100% of people love the idea.
That's true.
I have yet to find anybody that does not like that idea. I'm sure they might be out there, but we haven't found them yet.
So we're going to run with that.
And, just so much for 2022. We got so much high hopes as long as God keeps us healthy and all that.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm looking back. Think about it. Christopher was 7 when we started the show, and he's about to be 10. And Caitlyn was 10 months old when we started, and she is about to be 3 in February.
Crazy,
that is crazy.
So we've had to build this show around family.
We have. You'll find out some more of the behind the scenes stories in the book of what it was really like.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about a lot of that.
Talk about the good, the bad,
and the ugly. And again, it's been, when we launched the show 2 years ago, we just had no idea where God was going to take this.
Mm-hmm. It took a lot of faith. It really did.
And by the end, probably a couple months in, I was at the point where, okay, I this is working. This is doing good.
Yeah.
We're getting, because that was going to be the hardest part, getting the guests and all that.
The quality guests. Mm-hmm.
And it was like all of a sudden we're growing. Sounds great.
Sounds good.
We're almost done here too anyway.
Yep, we're about to wrap up in a few minutes.
But we appreciate everybody that tunes in.
Oh yes, thank you to anyone who does that, who supports the show in any way.
It's just been a special moment for us today. 2 years as we look back, had no idea this show would get to where it is today. Had zero idea. I mean, I had ideas of where it could go, but this has been beyond belief of the people we've had on our show. And like I said, we love every guest that comes on our show.
Every single one. Thank you to all of the guests.
So we want to say thank you to the guests. Thank you to the PR companies that allow your clients to come on.
Thank you to the viewers.
And thank you for the viewers that make all this work.
Yes.
Because, you're a big part of this thing too.
Oh, yes.
And we just want to thank God and each other that, what's 2022 going to be? And let's just think on that.
Yes.
And you know what?
Can't wait to see what happens this year.
Let's make 2022 the best year ever. And we hope that each of you will do the same and go out. And even if you have nothing on your plate right now, go do something that will stretch you beyond what you believe, because you will not believe where you could be 2 years from now.
Absolutely.
Because we sure don't.
And Happy New Year
Happy
to
New
each
Year.
and every one of you.
Merry late Christmas.
Yes.
And Happy New Year. And you know what? We'll see you at the top.
And we hope it's your best year ever.
Let's go.
Bye.